What's up, guys? It's Austin from Yu-Gi-Oh! Theory, and today I have a deck profile for my Paleozoic Stun deck. This deck is pretty good. It's sort of like like just a bunch of battle traps, so your opponent can't really attack you, and then you just like pop in their cards and just all kinds of disruption just because it's Paleozoics. And then when you get your monsters out, they can't touch them with monster effects, and you kind of like out grind them really, and then you kind of just get in there for the win by just attacking with pretty minuscule attacks, but they add up. So it does end up winning me quite a few games, just because of how versatile they are. They're kind of easily side decked against because they can just use Dinko Sekka, but the chances of them hard drawing that Dinko Sekka are pretty low. Still, it is kind of a problem. But first into the deck profile, you run 3 card D. This deck is really good for decks that don't really do much on their turn. So you just normal summon it during your main phase 1, you tribute it, draw 2 cards, and then you end your turn. So it's just really good for draw power, really. And that's about it. That's all the monsters, actually. That's the only 3 monsters you run in the entire deck. Next, for spells, you run 3 Pod Duality. You don't special summon that much during your first turn, at least, and then later on you kind of don't have to special summon. You special summon a lot during your opponent's turn. You have to overlay during your turn, but if you have like that many cards to overlay with, you probably don't even really need Pod Duality in the first place because you're already kind of ahead. But still, it's good just to run it 3 so you can see it more often because it comes in handy a lot. Next, 1 Dark Hole just for clearing fields, and that's all the spells. So 4 spells, 3 monsters. So the rest of the deck is all traps. First, for Paleos, you run 3 Candina. It's basically a Book of Moon, and then it has all of the Paleozoics are unaffected by monster effects, and it has the other effect to where if a trap is activated, you special summon it from your graveyard. So that's really good. But the Book of Moon effect is just it flips it face down till the end turn or the end of the turn. So you can do it easily during the middle of your opponent's plays, like if they're about to synchro summon or link summon or something. You just flip face down whatever they're about to link summon with, since you can't flip links face down. It works if they synchro something or synchro summon something and you flip their synchro down. That works a lot, helps a lot. That works a lot sometimes. But next you run 3 Paleozoic Dynamiscus. This is more if you just want to kind of just get rid of it. You don't really want it to be flipped face up later. What it does is you just target 1 face up card and then you discard 1 card and you banish the card that you just targeted. And it also has the same unaffected and the same special summoning whenever a trap is activated. They all have that. Next, you run 3 Olenolidisis. However you say that. I'm not very good with his name, but he's basically an MST. So he's pretty good and same unaffected and same special summoning thing. You can add some heavy Storm Dusters and stuff and Twin Twisters in this. I just don't because you have him. And I think he really is enough. You can run Heavy Storm Duster if you want, just because that's kind of the best option for this deck. I don't, just because I have a bunch of battle traps, but you can take out some of the battle traps for it if you want. Next, I run 3 Marilia. It's basically like a Foolish Burial for Paleozoic cards, and then it has the same special summoning and unaffected effect. And by the way, whenever they're summoned back, they're treated as monsters, so they don't take up a spell in trap zone. I just thought I'd go ahead and add that in there. Next, you run 3 Paleozoic Pikia. It's basically like a trade-in for Paleos, except you just use Paleo monsters instead of like trap cards. Like, it's not as generic as trade-in is. So, but it still is good because you can search it out with one of the Xyzs and then activate it from your hand off that Xyz's effect, and then just discard a Paleo and draw 2 cards. So it is a really good draw too that is searchable. So I run it at 3. Next, I only run 1 of him. What it does is it returns your one banished Paleozoic trap card from your to your graveyard. So it comes in handy sometimes. I mostly use it for fodder, just stuff to send to the graveyard that I don't really want that much. But it does come in handy sometimes. And then next, I run 3 Mirror Force. You can run different types of Mirror Forces if you want. I'm kind of fond of just regular Mirror Force because honestly, I just like destruction. Because unless you like like you're dueling something like Cosmos or Burning Abyss or Yang Zing, regular Mirror Force will be fine. Otherwise, you can use like Storming or Quaking or something. Quaking's not very good just because you might be dueling some Link deck, so I don't run that anymore. Next, you run 3 Magic Cylinder. I cannot tell you how many damage I've dealt off Magic Cylinder alone, because a lot of people aren't expecting battle traps, so they'll attack with their most powerful monster first. That's what I usually do anyway, and they'll end up taking maybe 25, 3,000, sometimes even more than that off just Magic Cylinder, and then they attack again after that, thinking everything's all good. Then you hit them with the Mirror Force and destroy everything. So that's just how it goes. And then even if they get through that and they still want to attack, then I just activate Negate Attack and end the damage step. And it's a counter, so you can't chain things like Cyber Dragon Infinity or Zombie Sign or Totally Awesome. Things like that can't chain it because it's a spell speed 3. You'd have to chain like Dark Bribe, and like no one plays Dark Bribe. So the Negate Attack usually goes through. Next, I run 3 Gravity Bind. Gravity Bind sometimes gets popped, so it's not as good. You could take out one of these maybe, just because if you're dueling Links, you can take this out and put in like the Silent Brigade or Twin Twisters or Heavy Storm Duster, like I was mentioning earlier. This is just kind of, you don't have to play Gravity Bind. I just particularly like it. Messenger of Peace is a pretty good option. I just run Gravity Bind just because it chains the Paleozoic effects, which is kind of what I want to do. Next, I run 2 Power Wall. Power Wall is actually pretty good. What it does is, during the damage step, when you take battle damage, you mill a card for every 500 damage worth of what you would have taken, and it rounds up. So if you take 26, it treats it like you took 3,000. And you mill 1 for each 500. So if you take 3,000, that's 6 cards, and it makes the attack 0. And the point of this is just so you can get your Paleozoics in the graveyard to be special summoned. That's the main point of this. You can take this out too. That's kind of just an optional tech I like running. And then next, 2 Lost Wind. You can run 3. I just can't find my 3rd one, so I probably would run 3. But it's just a recyclable like breakthrough scale. So it's like a recyclable breakthrough scale that also halves their attack. So it's pretty good, and it's really good in this just because you can activate it. They special summon an effect monster, or not effect monster, for one from the extra deck. Next turn you can activate it and get some more of your Paleozoic effects off. So it's always just a good card just to run in Paleozoics in general. And then next, just 1 Torrential Tribute. Torrential Tribute, Bottomless Trap Hole, and I think a few other cards just went on to they just got off the ban list completely, so you can run them at 3 now, or you will be able to in 2 days, depending on whenever this video comes up. It's February 3rd today, but still, in 2 days it comes. But I'm sort of interested in how that's going to work out, since Dark Hole's at 1 and Rageki's at 1, and then Torrential Tribute's all of a sudden at 3. I don't know exactly what that's going to end up being like, but I'm kind of excited about it. And then Monster Reborn came to 1, guys. That's crazy. But anyway, that's it with the main deck. Now for the extra deck. My extra deck is sort of incomplete just because I put Paleozoics on the back burner for a while, so I haven't bought a bunch of the cards I kind of needed for it that got reprinted and stuff. So excuse my really junk extra deck, but it's what I got to play with. It works pretty good though, even though it is kind of garbage. 2 of him. He's really good actually, because he has a during the player turn popping effect. He's unaffected by monsters. If a spell and trap card leaves your spell and trap card zone, or if a trap card leaves your spell and trap card zone, you can reveal a card off the top of your deck. If it's a trap, you add it to your hand. It's almost always going to be a trap. I think you run 4 spells and 3 monsters. It's almost always going to be a trap. If it's not a trap, then luck is not on your side. And then next you run 2 Opabina. What you can do with this is you can search out the Pika if you have another Paleozoic in your hand, activate the Pika from your hand, discard the other Paleozoic and draw 2, and then probably get some effects off from some Paleozoics in your graveyard. And then if you draw any Paleozoics, the Pika and the card you just discarded will get the special summon. So it's pretty good. Next, this is supposed to represent a Totally Awesome. I don't have one. Like I said, I've been falling behind on the reprints and whatnot lately. I really need to get some Totally Awesomes, but this could be like 2 or 3. It doesn't really matter. Totally Awesome is just such a good card. You could run it at 3 if you want to. I have the Herald of the Pure Light in here. It's pretty good for recycling your card Ds, just cause. The good thing about card D is it is a level 2, so if it gets like its effects negated, like I don't know, Forbidden Chalice or something, you can still just overlay with it. So Herald of Pure Light lets you recycle it, so that's nice. Next, you run 2 Mastar Boy. The whole deck is water, so Mastar Boy comes in really handy against that. And his effect is actually pretty useful for bumping up their attacks, because their attacks are pretty minuscule. I think it's like 1200. I think that's what it is. Yeah, 1200 attack and 0 defense, so that kind of helps to boost it up. Proxy Dragon, just to go for some extra deck plays, you know. And its effect is okay. So, yeah, it's alright. And then, you know, a Deco Talker. I don't have a whole lot of Link monsters, so if you have like a Borreload or a Topological Dragon, you can get it out in this deck like very easily. But one thing to remember is that Paleozoics are treated as normal monsters, so you can't just get out a bunch of Paleozoics and then go into Deco Talker. You gotta go through like a Mastar Boy and a Proxy Dragon, or like a Mastar Boy and like one of those to do it, or something like that. But I think you get what I mean. Okay, guys, well, that's it for the deck profile. Tell me what you thought. Leave some comments, like, subscribe if you enjoyed. I really recommend someone trying out this deck. It's really cheap to make. All the Paleozoics are super cheap. Dark Hole, Magic Cylinder, and all those kind of cards are all super cheap. You could probably build this deck for like $20 or $30. And it's just a really fun stall deck just to play with your friends and stuff. I don't think it's competitive at all. It can get some games on some competitive decks just because of how, like, just the Paleos just are so good. But that's about it. But anyway, guys, like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys next time. Well, I'm still giving away a Ghost Hugger, so if you guys want to win a Ghost Hugger, just go check out the video on that. It's down there somewhere. I'll put it as like one of the videos that pops up after you watch this one. So just be on the lookout for that, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.